All right, guys. This is the video that won, the Shane Gillis video. I'm excited. Okay, mostly because the other one was supposed to be a Jordan Peterson video, and I just can't do it right now. But here's the thing. I like this guy. I haven't seen him on TikTok. Some of his humor. He's a pretty funny dude. My understanding is, though, he got canceled. I think he got. I don't know the story too well or intimately. Okay. But my understanding is that he auditioned for SNL. He got the audition. Or, excuse me, he auditioned for SNL and he was going to get it, but then it came out that he said some bad stuff when he was younger or something in some capacity. I don't know. Maybe he had some edgy jokes. So I'm curious as to what's going on. So this is the death and resurrection of our comic and savior, Shane Gillis. Okay, this is a little intense. From Apologia Comedia. I guess it's in line with them since they are, I guess, a comedian, whatever. I don't care. Let's go.
Saturday Night Live comic is out.
Saturday Night Live shakeup.
A dramatic reversal of fortune for a comic.
Shane Gillis out at SNL.
Just 4 days after he was introduced as a new cast member.
Oh, he got
A
it.
firestorm of criticism.
In a war for comedy, I think the ones with jokes will win.
Shane Gillis.
Oh my God, that scared that scared me. What happened with that? Jesus, man. Got to get that under control, brother.
That when he tells crowds his father is a Fox News guy, they often boo.
Man.
Growing up in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, watching Fox News isn't
Yeah, it's kind of sad though, because I got people in my family that are Fox News guys and gals too, and it's just it's disappointing to me. It's a little interesting, you know. I mean, here's my thing. I understand media can be a little manipulative. Fox News though, you know, damn. What are you thinking? You know, I don't know. Couldn't be me, but that's
out
okay.
of the norm, which is why at first he was surprised when audiences booed his father. Gillis didn't take it personally. He saw opportunity and made it part of his act.
He's a Fox News guy. Yeah, it's fine. Also, I see you guys. Most of you have Fox News dads. How dare you deny your fathers?
Gillis released his first special live in Austin in 2021. On stage, he conveys a cocky yet friendly demeanor.
I mean, I wouldn't really know if my father was a Fox News guy because I think he's a Democrat because he left my mother. What a Democrat thing to do. Leave his goddamn mother and children. You piece of shit, you know?
A guy you would like to get a beer with who is quick to let you know that he is just joking. Or maybe,
Well, he's a comedian,
unsettlingly,
so, you know.
that he isn't.
I had to go to my niece's 7th and 8th grade girls volleyball match recently.
Damn, rest in peace, man.
No, I'm kidding, dude. Shut up. Just relax.
What was the joke?
I don't want to kids.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
But if you ever want to get out of something, that's all you have to do. Like if your friend, like, do you want to come to our son's t-ball game? Be like, what grade are the kids in? And then no matter what they say, go, oh.
Live in Austin was not streamed by Netflix,
That's fucked up, dude. That's funny, though. That's very funny.
HBO, or any other network. However, Gillis funded it himself and released it for free on YouTube, where at the time of this video,
Well, he probably put it up for advertisements, which is smart. Smart way to do it.
has over 10 million views, receiving
good for
little
him.
to no attention from the mainstream media,
Good
but
for him,
earning
man.
big praise among comedians and fans.
Did you like it?
I really liked it.
Who's
Really?
Bobby Kelly?
You're very funny, dude.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I'm
I'm not a comedian connoisseur. Bobby Kelly. Oh yeah, I've seen that guy. He's kind of cool.
I wanted to hate it.
I think he likes to drink alcohol.
I swear to God, I just watched it. I watched it on my vacation in the woods. Your stupid face came up, and it was really. This guy's one of the hot new guys.
You're a
Even though-
hot guy.
Even though he looks like he's 48.
I'll see, man. That means a lot. That was Bobby Kelly, and pretty sure he hated me, so that's nice.
For most comedians, their first special is a coming out party, but Live in Austin wasn't just a coming out party, but a reintroduction. A chance for Gillis to make a fresh impression
What the fuck did he do that got him like canceled so hard?
on people who had not thought of him
I saw him on Joe Rogan talking about how he was kind of happy he didn't get SNL because he thinks that it's a little too left leaning, and I kind of agree. I mean, you know, I'm also a progressive, but sometimes we get fucking annoying, man. Like, not for nothing, because I love, you know, marginalized groups. They're my favorite. Unironically, unironically, I enjoy advocation, you know, in smaller ways. But some of these motherfuckers, people can be so fucking annoying. Some of the people can be just so annoying on the left, and it's usually It's usually fucking straight white people that are just trying to like distance themselves from like whatever perceived terror they have their family has caused the world or whatever. I don't know. I mean, you know, I got a little Jew in me, so I don't have to feel bad because I'm a victim too, right? By the logic, except I'm also got a German in me, so that's just conflicting every day. I feel conflicted. That's my life. So what a sad thing.
Him since 2019, when he was thrust onto the main stage and was perhaps the most talked about comedian in the world. It all started September 12th when Saturday Night Live announced it was hiring 3 new cast members, including Gillis, who at the time was a little-known stand-up and host of an obscure podcast. In the hours after the announcement, an independent journalist named Seth Simmons unearthed a clip from the previous year where he and co-host Matt McCusker bantered about Philadelphia's Chinatown.
I wonder how that started. They just built one up-looking building, and people were like, all right, no one said anything. Let's
fucking live there, huh?
It's obvious Gillis was imitating what sounded like a disdainful bureaucrat from an earlier time, poking fun at the type of person who would say that. But nonetheless, he said it, and it soon became the one thing the majority knew about him.
Damn.
On the morning of September...
Edgy comedians being edgy? That's fucking wild, dude. I can't believe it. Listen, this is one of the things about playing the line when it comes to comedy, is that line is shifting every day. And that comedy line, especially nowadays in a very quickly shifting social space because of the internet, that line is shifting so quickly that something that would have been acceptable 5 years ago, it's just not. You know, I personally think that socially we've progressed more in the past 10 years than we have like the 100 years before it. A lot of it's the internet, and that's not a bad thing. That really is not a bad thing. I mean, we went right from gay marriage to trans affirmation. I'm here for it, brother. But sometimes we move so quickly that some people don't understand that, you know, I think that sometimes we just move so quickly and it has a negative impact on some people that are like edgy but aren't negatively meaning. Because, you know, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I'm that guy. I'm that guy that's a little edgy, but I don't mean bad by it. But sometimes you just take an epic not victory royale. It's not Fortnite, and we should not get down. So.
Number 13, Gillis was at the center of every major news story. The timing of it all couldn't have come at a worse time, as one of his fellow hires was Bowen Yang, who is widely known as the show's first Asian American.
He probably would not appreciate that type of humor, man, and I think I would completely understand that. So.
Cast member. Compared to Yang, Gillis seemed like a throwback to a time when his brand of comedy was praised.
Ohio! With me today are Yuki Kosomoto from the Tokyo Times.
Hey.
Ichi Tayoka, Director of Public Affairs for the Atari Corporation. Hey. And Tatsuro Watanaki, Japan's Minister of Finance. Hey.
Gillis issued a grudging semi-apology, calling himself, quote, a comedian who pushes boundaries, adding, I'm happy to apologize to anyone who's actually offended by anything I said. In retrospect, it was probably inevitable that the invitation to join the show would be rescinded. More remarks were discovered, including Gillis's description of Judd Apatow as, quote, than ISIS. Lorne Michaels, the executive producer of it.
Listen, I appreciate that. Listen, I think it's good to apologize by saying, hey, listen, like that was a little too edgy. I'm sorry. But I like the way that he apologized because it's more of those things where it's like, yeah, I did a bad thing. What I get out of that is like, hey, I know that what I did was like bad. Now, back then it was pushing the line. I'm still sorry for it, but like I'm not a bad guy. I feel like that's a good apology. Instead of the virtue signal, like, oh my god, I'm literally the worst person in the world. I hate people who apologize like that, you know. So.
SNL said that he is a fan of Gillis, but the network was concerned about backlash.
Damn.
On September 16th, 4 days after Gillis was announced as the newest cast member on SNL, Lorne Michaels released a statement saying he will not be joining the cast, and the comments he made on his podcast were offensive, hurtful, and unacceptable.
Damn.
A different sort of person in Gillis' situation might have argued against it, casting himself as a defender of freedom or artistic expression. It worked for Dave Chappelle. He addressed his critics in a Netflix special which was less a stand-up routine and more a lecture.
I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not?
Gillis, however, declined to plead his case.
We'll bring up cancel culture. I'm just like, and I don't want to be on the other side of it, where it's like, I'm a free speech guy. It's like, dude, I don't want to be involved in any of this. I just want to do comedy.
Like countless.
Yeah, I get that, dude. Because some of these fucking free speech comedians are insane. Like, I don't think Dave Chappelle is a free speech comedian. I think Dave Chappelle is just a comedian. But, you know, you got some of these people are fucking crazy. Like Rob Schneider, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Relax with this free speech shit. Like, I get it. Everybody should have free speech, but that doesn't mean there's freedom of consequences. There is a line. You know, and we need to navigate it as a society, and it's hard. And I feel like sometimes it goes a little too left, and that's, you know, something we have to deal with socially. But chill out, you know.
As comedians before him, Gillis understands the importance of saying something socially inappropriate. Decades ago, common profanity served this purpose, but audiences today barely register George Carlin's 7 dirty words. While his firing from Saturday Night Live seemed like a death sentence, it also endeared him to a cohort of politically conservative-minded fans, some of whom probably second-guessed their feelings when hearing his joke about their favorite president.
I will say this, and don't freak out. Just listen. I think it's fair to say that of all the presidents we've had, I think it's fair to say that Trump would have been the funniest one to see get shot.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. How the fuck do you get away with that? I feel like that's worse than any slur that you could ever make. Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord.
You know? Yeah, dude, the Patriots got fired up on that, dude. I was having fun at this show.
The White House declined
That's
to comment.
wild.
People think that Gillis
Yeah,
being
no shit, huh? What is he gonna say? It's like a fucking... What the White House say? That was not nice. I mean, if they went after him for it, they would just look like free speech hypocrites. It's fucked up. It's funny. Jesus Christ.
fired from SNL was the reason his career took off, but he was grinding it out the old-fashioned way for almost a decade. As Gillis has grown, so has his demographic. What was once a rather homogenous audience is now a bit more diverse, in that there are now a few stone-faced women who seem to have been dragged to the club by their podcast-loving boyfriends. Comedy podcasts have been a...
Papa, do you have a Twitter? There's an account with your name and photo, but they post super unhinged stuff, including references to CP and mocking George Floyd. Do you think that that's me? No, of course it's not me. It's obviously a parody account. I guess I appreciate you asking. Although I'm a little offended that you thought that it could be me. That's the weird part about it.
A huge part of Gillis's career, and after the fallout of the 2019 fiasco, he used them to share his side of the story and ultimately bolster his following. In the not-too-distant past, comedians who faced a similar plight as Gillis would have went on late-night talk shows, like Norm, when he was fired from SNL.
I'm firing you there from the show, and then I said, oh, that's not good. You know?
I don't know why he's so funny.
Why is that now? And he goes, oh, you're not funny. Yeah. And then I said, oh, Lord, that's even worse news, you know?
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired with OJ too much. That's exactly why you were fired.
In those days, you would only get 8 to 10 minutes of airtime max, and the style compared to the untethered banter of today's podcasting platform is contemptuous at best. Podcasting is the counterculture to mainstream media. It's supposed to be, but the numbers suggest that the counter may in fact be bigger than the culture. When Gillis went on the Joe Rogan Experience for the first time, it reportedly reached over 11 million listeners. That's twice.
Oh, I can report it? Yeah, I know I can report. I already have it. They haven't done anything about it. So, like, we're at a point now where I just have to deal with it, I guess. But, like, I already reported the account. They don't do anything about it. So, it's something I could do. Elon just loves to guzzle cum, I guess, or something.
It's the typical audience of Saturday Night Live. Matt and Shane's secret podcast has hundreds of thousands of listeners on a weekly basis, many of whom pay $1, $5, or $10 a month for bonus content.
Damn.
It seems like Gillis hasn't met a comedian who didn't like him. In the summer of 2021, he was part of Bert Kreischer's comedy tour, playing mainly arenas and minor league baseball stadiums, while also appearing on Kreischer's podcast, Bertcast.
What do you tell me what you think? Okay.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon reel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me.
He's talking about fucking his mom? What the fuck?
Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
What do you think?
Gay?
When you are on a podcast, unlike on stage, things are unscripted and only funny at times. And podcasting is just a way for him, like other comedians, to supplement their real passion as a stand-up comedian. But now more than ever, it's unclear what people want from their stand-up comedians. As popular as comedy has become, It's equally divisive. Dave Chappelle may be the most well-known stand-up comic there is today, but his routines about the trans community sparked outrage.
Boy, I heard what you said.
While still, he earns millions of dollars from his deals with Netflix.
How could I not?
While at the same time, a performance...
I think that's how it should work. I like Dave Chappelle. I like Jon Stewart, which is one of the reasons why I do. I think that if people want to approach the trans conversation, it needs to be more delicate. You know, with Dave, I remember seeing his stuff. I don't remember the specifics. I remember it being a bit transphobic. Some of his jokes were all right too. They were decently funny. You know, there's obviously a social conversation to have. There's a line between calling stuff out and shutting stuff down that needs to be maintained when it comes to some kind of cancel culture. Because if people are having very real thoughts, feelings, and perspectives on a topic, like trans people, and whether they're wrong, and I would obviously disagree with people who are very transphobic, but if there is a lot of people having transphobic feelings about trans people or different feelings about different groups, and you just completely shut them down and you don't listen to what they're saying and try to parse it out, they're just going to feel like they can't talk, but they're still going to have those feelings. And especially in an online generation, they're just going to find like-minded others, and they're probably just going to go down a even darker rabbit hole of transphobia in a more private setting. That could manifest itself in the real world. So you really want to try to engage with people and their bigotry, as long as that person, and just hope that that person is open to real conversation. You know, some people aren't, unfortunately, but you just kind of want to hope that they are, and you want to try to have some kind of an impact.
He had scheduled in Minneapolis was moved at the last moment, the venue stating hosting Chappelle would be incompatible with creating the safest possible environment. Norm Macdonald was friends with Gillis. Through their friendship, Gillis was able to share this quote.
In a war for comedy, I think the ones with jokes will win.
Oh,
it's just like, yo,
yeah, that's fire.
Norm Macdonald is king.
This quote is very important when it comes to understanding why comedians like Norm, Chappelle, and Gillis are the culture, even when the mainstream tells us they are the counter. Late night hosts and their shows are imploding because they claim to be comedy, yet Colbert and Kimmel are known less for being funny and more for pushing political ideologies. After the 2016 election, SNL began its broadcast with this laughless rendition.
The hell is this?
Gay.
The show even tried to depict 46 sympathetically as an aging normie, a sane, logical man in a mad world. The message more aligns with the view that we are living in a tragic era, not a comedic one. Today's comedians seem to think that clapter and approval is comedy, but Gillis understands that true comedy often derives from saying things that are inappropriate.
Gay.
While a comedian...
I mean, sure, that is some comedy. It's like shock value comedy. I mean, listen, you know, there's also a fine line between saying things that are inappropriate in a funny way and just being edgy or bigoted and just be like, oh, like slur, you know, pejorative, and it's like, oh, this is funny, right? Which Gillis does very well, obviously, because I enjoy his stuff, but.
Political beliefs should not be taken into account when judging their merit. Gillis often tells his audience
maybe sometimes
is that he never voted for 45.
I took skull out of my mouth to come up here. And I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Makes me like the Nelson Mandela of central Pennsylvania.
Gillis gets a big laugh with his Trump impersonation. It's uncannily good, and the one thing that is neither an endorsement or an indictment.
Oh, you want me to do Trump?
Yeah. Trump impression.
Yeah,
Why is Trump? What's the problem with this park? Why do you want it so bad, Donald?
We've got a lot of Jews down there.
Oh my God.
That's good.
The impersonation didn't derive on stage, however. He crafted it during the pandemic as he and fellow comedian and friend John McKeever used their own funds to develop 12 sketches and uploaded them to YouTube for free. One of the most
I mean, this just seems to be the power of harnessing YouTube to make content. Because without that, he would have been fucked. But now there's alternatives to typical media or established anything. Not even just news media, but clearly SNL is a form of media. And it's a good thing that there's alternative sources for people to be able to thrive. And there's not just one machine owning and operating the way that everybody interacts on everything.
Popular is Trump speed dating.
I would never suck a guy. But if I did, it'd be one of the best sucks he's ever had.
The show is called Gillian Keeves, and season 1 was such a success, they dropped a second season, which was surprisingly just as funny.
Well, what the fuck's going on with this Keeves guy? What the hell's going on with him? I haven't seen anything about that guy. What the fuck?
Better than the first. It seems like a big portion of fans are drawn to Gillis because he reminds them of someone from their hometown, someone that doesn't resemble a celebrity.
I guess.
He considers himself O-Fly and can make fun of himself better than anyone.
His whole campaign was at me. I was watching TV. He was like, "Are you fat idiot?" I was like, "Yeah, dude. Yeah, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, dude? We're building walls? Hell yeah."
If you played high school football, you undoubtedly had someone on your team that resembled Gillis and his mannerisms. Growing up in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Gillis was known as a big guy who could crush beer, and he
Well, you know who else is from Pennsylvania? The best president, Joe Biden.
He has worked hard during his career to maintain that reputation.
He's all right.
Appearing on a drinking gang podcast hosted by Barstool Sports, he carried his team to victory by drinking over 15 beers in an hour's time. What most fans...
Bro, it's just never going to happen for me. I think that I could probably put away 15 beers. If I wanted to put away 15 beers, I could drink them. I'm very fat, and I have the capacity for those 15 beers. The problem with 15 beers is my diabetes, and... you know, not even that it'll kill me that quickly, but I cannot stop pissing sometimes. So you give me, I get like a couple of beers in me, and I'm just I'm in the I live in the bathroom at that point. It's just a miserable experience. I don't even like to drink. I like to drink. I just don't like to drink because I piss more than I get drunk. It's a fucking waste. And then I just piss out all the drunkenness very quickly. I'll get like super drunk really fast for like 15 minutes. And then I'm just sitting there pissing, and I'm like, wow, this is not worth it at all. It's kind of cringe.
And remember about this podcast is the moment when a little-known producer tried to go viral, threatening to wrestle Gillis if he made a joke about ordering Chinese food.
What do you think?
Gay?
What fans failed to see is the devastating hangover that weighed over him the following day. Instead of staying home and nursing the hangover, he did 7 sets, saying, quote, "I did 7 sets. I needed to kill 7 times to feel better." Like most kids, Gillis knew about comedy long before he knew about comedy clubs. While his father came from the generation of George Carlin, he was drawn to high-energy comics like Carlos Mencia and Dane Cook. Most of all...
Really? I'm not a big Mencia or Cook fan. I'm surprised, frankly. I'm more drawn to like your Louis C.K.'s. I like Louis C.K. He's pretty good. And the reason I like Louis C.K. more than anything else is because I've never been in a room alone with him as a woman. So that's what makes me like Louis C.K. more than anything else.
Like many of us in our mid-30s, he remembers watching Will Ferrell in Old School, thinking he could do that.
We're going streaking!
I could see him do that. Yeah,
While he felt like he could be an actor, Gillis...
I couldn't go streaking, though. My penis is not... I'm a grower, not a show. I feel like that's... You know, we always talk about... Listen, I'm going to go on a tangent here. I really need to go on this tangent here. Because I feel like we always talk about body positivity. We're always like, oh, ladies... it's okay to be chunky. By the way, I love big girls. This is not me criticizing it. But what about the guys that, maybe we need a little bit of time to present ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not exactly hanging loose. I'm not like elephant trunking it out. I look kind of like a turtle that's afraid until I get a little more comfortable. And it's like, where's my body positivity? Where's the body positivity for the growers? The showers are over here showing it off. Oh, look at me. I turned it into a fucking lasso. I can't do that. You got to go to the Galapagos Islands to check mine out. So it's like, come on, man. That's where the real body positivity, in my opinion, should manifest itself into. That's all I'm saying.
Gillis didn't know where to start, but unlike many of us who thought we could be Frank the Tank, he took the steps necessary to make that dream a reality, building an impressive resume along the way.
I played, it's D1 football, and then if you join West Point, if you join the Army during active war, you are technically I'm a decorated veteran. That's a medal.
That's sick.
I quit right away. I quit West Point right away, first month. And then, I got SNL. So technically I'm a Division I football player that is a decorated veteran and was cast on Saturday Night Live. And I didn't do one of those things.
Showers are just funny because you expect to get bigger, and it doesn't. Growers are always pleasant. See, there you go. even if I go from 0 to 3, that's still better than going from 5 to 5.1, right? I mean, come on, it's more fucking surprising. I mean, that's true because people love surprises. It's not about the gift you get, it's about how surprising it is. That's why people are going around buying fucking mystery boxes and then you hate it 99% of the goddamn time. You fucking hate every mystery box that you get. None of them are good. None of them are ever good. Even like Snack Crate, garbage. Oh my god. Oh, here's $35. Impossible to cancel. I canceled like 6 months ago. They just keep sending it to me. You get like 4. You get, oh, here's like 6 bags of chips and 6 shitty candies. Like, bro, where's the meat for $35? Might as well go to goddamn 7-Eleven, just buy a bunch of Reese's and have a diabetic coma. Jesus Christ. Fuck. That's what I'm saying. That's my problem.
In Philadelphia, Gillis had befriended Matt McCusker, a fellow comic, and they spent enough time trying to make each other laugh that they figured they might as well set up some microphones and start a podcast.
Cool.
They are a complementary pair. Where Gillis likes beer and sports, McCusker is a devoted cannabis endorser with a fondness for dubious schemes and theories.
What do you think about Rogan getting compromised?
Rogan got compromised?
Joe Rogan, I think he's compromised, dude. Have you listened to Joe? Do you listen to Joe Rogan podcast?
Occasionally, depending on the guest.
I used to listen to it all the time. Like I started listening to it in 2010.
This guy's a conspiracy theorist. That's what he's what the fuck are you talking about?
And as of late, like he had that show like Joe Rogan Questions Everything.
No.
It was like a show about like Kells.
Oh yeah.
Bigfoot.
I know that he did the Man Show for a little bit. I used to I used to watch the Man Show when I was a kid. For research purposes, I would kind of just check it out. It was chill. It was cool. I don't care anymore.
But I have a theory that he launched that on the cable network, and someone came up to him and was like, "Bro, like you have a big platform. Knock off this conspiracy."
The appeal of this kind of podcast is that listeners, if they have the patience to sit through hours of idle banter, get a chance to hear something uncensored and unfiltered.
I think there was one rumor about you where people were dumping on you through hammocks.
Yeah.
Is that true?
A sexual thing? A sexual thing?
Yeah, where people were taking on you.
A sexual thing, right?
Yeah, sexual dumps, not like just like
not like
sanitation.
gross dumps.
What the business?
It's a rumor. I just want to ask.
Well, no, I'm saying.
I think it's
who
cool.
cares?
Based, yeah. Who cares? Just because I like to jerk off to. Listen, here's my thing. Who cares if it's consensual? What does it matter what I do after I can't finish for 3 hours? If I got to go to a weird fucking website because there's nothing else is getting to me, what the fuck does that matter? It's legal. It's natural. Comes out of your body. Smells good sometimes. Just kidding. Sorry, dude.
Is it, if anybody's? If it's a sexual thing, good God. Did I ask you about your sexual life?
Yes, almost immediately.
Have you ever
Literally immediately.
Have you ever licked an
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Have you another human being?
Yes.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm pretty excited about it. I like it.
None of your this is what I do in bed.
Nah,
I promise.
I feel like I could potentially try poop stuff. The problem isn't the poop, it's the smell of the poop. You know what I mean? That's where it really gets me, is I don't think I can handle the stink. If shit didn't stink, I think I could do it. I think I'd give it the old college try, some would say. I think I could. But again, the poop is the the fucking smell is the problem. It's a putrid, disgusting. You know, you got to eat something. I don't even know what would make your shit smell nice, to be honest with you. What makes your poop smell decent? I don't know. I don't know.
I promise you, if we were to divulge, me and my present and past wives, girlfriends, associates, the truth of our sexual relationship, it would make that sound so fucking kindergarten.
That's awesome, dude. That's
right,
awesome. You're talking about you've got dumped on from higher up in a hammock and had the mega splat.
Jesus Christ almighty.
This kind of talk is certain to offend plenty of people, virtually none of whom
who's talking about eating poop, bro? Nobody's talking about eating poop. We're talking about smearing shit on yours. The fuck is talking about eating poop? You know what I mean, dude? You're fucking crazy, man. You're a problem. Nobody's talking about eating it, okay?
are likely to be regular listeners of Matt and Shane's secret podcast.
Poopery. Do you eat poopery and then you shit it out and it smells nice, or you put poopery in there afterwards? I don't understand.
Such is the allure of shocking content. It can turn those who enjoy it into insiders, united against those outsiders who don't. In this sense, Gillis and countless other provocative comics and podcasters are descendants of the so-called shock jocks, radio personalities who inspired loyalty precisely because of their determination to violate taboos. Younger listeners who know Howard Stern as a thoughtful celebrity interviewer are sometimes startled to hear old recordings of him bantering with Klansmen, or asking women profoundly...
I got to banter with a fucking hairstylist or something. I don't even need a stylist. I just need a guy with a fucking... a wood chipper or something. My eyebrows are crazy long. It's fucking ridiculous.
Inappropriate sexual questions. Opie and Anthony began broadcasting in 1995 and cultivated
I didn't think that they would look like this. This guy looks like Teabag from Prison Break.
More accommodating sensibility.
This guy just kind of looks like almost Chris Jericho, you know? Not Chris. He doesn't look like Chris Jericho. He looks like almost Chris Jericho. That's the argument I'm making.
And a closer relationship with stand-up. Anthony Cumia was fired from the show in 2014 for provocations that were more angry than funny. After he had an altercation with a woman in Times Square, Cumia posted a picture of the woman along with the words, "Animal pig face, worthless meat sack." He subsequently launched his own streaming network, Compound Media, which was the home of A Fair One, a podcast that Gillis used to co-host. One of the things that Gillis learned in 2019 is that comics should expect to be judged by whatever they say on podcasts. Stern sometimes...
What do you mean it's equally vile? How is eating shit as bad as rubbing it on your body? This doesn't even make sense to me. You can't even be... You're a fucking... What? Wish Jericho. That's funny. Is that what you're saying? There's no way you think that. If you were... This doesn't matter, because... Now it matters too much to me. If you were propositioned, hey, listen, you have to either rub shit on your body or eat it. Are you seriously telling me that you would be like, I don't know which is worse? Explain that to me. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like you don't. I feel like you're being dishonest right now. There's no way. You would definitely be fucking rubbing a little shit on your chest, man. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying there's no way that you think that they're equally as vile. They're just not equally as vile at all. It's all leagues. Frankly, leagues different. Okay.
Tried to coax women guests to sit on an ottoman-sized vibrator he had in the studio. Rogan recently spent 2.5 hours talking to a theoretical physicist. The regulatory environment has changed as well. Stern's show was repeatedly fined by the Federal Communications Commission.
I like some of the Rogan stuff. He tries to talk to like different people. I thought he always did that. I don't think he necessarily changed too much.
His heirs worrying less about government action than about the complicated mixture of approval and outrage they inspire among members of the general public, and among the corporations that often determine the limits of acceptable speech. Gillis doesn't complain because he recognizes that part of what makes taboo humor funny is that it is, in fact, taboo, which means that comics who argue against linguistic taboos are usually being hypocritical, or at any rate, self-defeating. Gillis was not quite as surprised as the rest of the world when he was hired by Saturday Night Live in 2019. By then, he had signed with United Talent Agency and moved to New York, and that summer he performed at a high-profile showcase in both Montreal and San Francisco.
Do you guys remember how, confident you guys were? Going into that last one? You remember that? A little borderline arrogant going into that. All right. Don't let it cost you again. No, relax. I did not vote for him.
In 2019, Variety reported that Lorne Michaels had brought in Gillis as part of an effort to appeal to more conservative viewers.
I mean, interesting. I would have never expected them to say that. That is interesting and it makes sense, but you can't just bring in a guy to appeal to conservative viewers. You got to let the guy. You gotta let the guy be a little edgy. Listen, don't tell me I'm exposing myself right now. We're having a nuanced discussion about eating shit. I think that the problem is that you're not mature enough to engage with the concept of the difference between eating it and rubbing it on yourself. Okay, you need to put your feelings aside of uncomfortable to go, okay, if I was in a room and the only way, if this was fucking Saw 8, 10, well, I don't know which one we are at, and I was trapped in a room, and he was like, you got to either rub this shit on, let's say like 30% of your body, or you got to eat a little nugget of shit. You're totally 1,000% going to be rubbing that shit on your body. The only difference is that sometimes they make you eat poop at the hospital. Okay, the doctor literally makes you eat shit. So if you could take it in a tablet, like pill derived from human feces treats recurring gut infections. It's called shit pills. All right, you literally eat somebody else's shit. Called crapsules. That's a real thing. All right, you eat someone else's poop. And it somehow their poop makes you feel better about yourself. I don't even know why. What do poop pills do? What do they do? Fecal microbiota transplantation. What the fuck? Is a procedure that delivers healthy human donor stool to a child. Tube or capsule. Enema, tube or capsule, or colonoscopy. It may be prescribed for debilitating gastrointestinal infections. Jesus Christ. Wow, that's fucking wild. A child? Why the fuck did they brought up kids? Why did they bring up kids? I didn't even mention children. They mentioned children. Weird. These doctors, huh? Bro, this is a real thing. You guys you criticize me all you want. Poop pills are 100%, 100,000% real. You're coping. Eating shit is good for your body. It's good for your digestive tract. Okay, just so you know. All right, let's be real. Okay, say this to my wife with a straight face. Are you kidding me? I literally asked my mom. She's a lesbian. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I said the most wild shit in the entire world. She would agree with me. We eat each other's shit all the time. I'm kidding. That's disgusting.
Michaels denies this, but he agrees that Gillis does provide a different point of view. At first, SNL told him he had passed a background check. For 5 or 6
Wait, did they say? Wait.
Had a different point of view. At first, SNL told him he had passed a background check.
Oh,
For 5 or 6 hours,
damn.
he could enjoy the idea that he had joined the most venerable institution in American comedy.
Well, it doesn't look like this. These guys were funny.
And so that lasted for about like 3 hours before an article came out. That was like, here's what this guy says.
Damn, 3 hours is wild.
You know, unsavory stuff.
Yeah.
But
talking shit.
It was the one podcast we ever filmed. That's the one they used.
Wow.
And it just happened.
What do you mean the only one they filmed? Like they didn't put the other ones on the YouTube or something? I mean, that makes sense, and they're just watching that.
And it was funny, too, because people were like, man, they really had to dig to find this. I was like, that's probably like 3 minutes in. It's like we had one podcast online.
Bowen Yang did not comment publicly, but plenty of other performers did. The actor Daniel Day Kim from Lost and Hawaii Five-0 wrote, "It took 45 years for SNL to..."
Who the fuck? Who said this? Daniel Day Kim?
The actor Daniel Day Kim from Lost and Hawaii Five-0 wrote, "It took 45 years for SNL to get an East Asian cast member."
Hey, guys. Okay.
And in that same year, he'll be joined by someone who would have no problem calling him another ass.
Bro, listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole because what he said was wrong. But, like, can we not pretend that Asian people aren't super fucking racist? They are as racist as white people, okay? I've met Asian people. I love Asian people. That might be one of the reasons. I'm kidding. Am I? No, I don't know. Let's just pretend to say that. But everybody's racist. Oh, this guy said a bad thing in the past. I've never. Shut up. Yes, you have, motherfucker. Are you kidding me? Conservative parents are insane. It doesn't matter. Conservative parents are fucking insane. Conservative parents. There's no filter on a conservative parent because they're old, they're halfway fucking senile, and like they just don't give a shit. They think that the world like operates as it used to, where you could scream whatever you want and nobody will find out about it. They'll sit in a restaurant and just say the fucking most racist shit, and they're like, "Hey, can you say it? Relax, Dad, relax. Nah, it's fine." They know I'm kidding. It's like, no, they don't. You'd act like it's fucking crazy. Okay. It's fucking crazy. So you're probably racist, okay? Your mom and dad are probably racist. Your grandparents are... There's not even a question. It's objective. Your grandparents are fucking racist. If you have grandparents, they are racist. It's just the way the world works. It's fucking wild. Gotta leave. Yeah, gotta leave grandma in the car sometimes, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Actor Simu Liu wrote, "This word has been used to dehumanize my people for over 150 years.
That's
You
it?
don't
Damn.
get to use it in the name of edgy comedy." Gillis's first public statement about being a comedian who pushes boundaries sounded ridiculous to many people, including Gillis, who
I think he's chilling.
has since apologized for saying something so pretentious. The argument over his firing was not about free speech. It was about what sort of performers Saturday Night Live should hire.
Women.
A few of the show's veterans spoke up on his behalf on principle, including Norm Macdonald,
Yeah, that makes sense.
who lived by the creed that comedians should be troublemakers, and Rob Schneider, who wrote that we are
Of course, Rob Schneider is fucking wild. Dude.
living in an era of cultural unforgiveness, and suggested that Gillis was being unfairly punished for comedic misfires.
I mean, not for nothing, but this just jump-started his career. He got doo-dooed on. Then Norm Macdonald fans and fuck, RuPaul, what is his name? I forget. I know his name. It just escaped me.
Cultural should be trouble.
Rob Schneider. They're gonna flock to him. They probably did already. So
Suggested that Gillis was being unfairly punished for comedic misfires. Schneider, who joined SNL in 1990, is sometimes described as the show's first cast member of Asian descent. His maternal
is he?
grandmother was Filipino. There was no public outpouring from people
Grandmother, damn.
insisting that
That's pretty far away, brother.
the show should keep a cast member who had uttered a racial slur.
Yeah, I went into Lauren.
I'd never be on SNL. Then I would definitely be on SNL. Then actually, they would hire me in a second. I've never done anything like that in my life. I'm a purebred, loving American. So,
in Michael's office, and he was talking, and I was convinced I was getting fired. Like I knew I was getting fired. Because if they didn't get me on that, there's so much more. So much worse.
Oh my God.
I was like, whatever. I'll do. If I get fired here, whatever. I'll just go do Joe Rogan next week, and I'll be fine.
Gillis remembers those days as a surreal blur of frantic meetings and phone calls and texts. UTA dropped him as a client, while
Damn.
clubs like The Stand kept booking him. If anything, the episode made him more devoted to comedy.
That's crazy.
Because he wanted to prove that he was really funny. It was during this period of time that a friend put him in touch with Louis C.K., whose tenure as one of the country's most widely admired comics.
I really still like Louis C.K. I fucking hate what he did. It makes me feel so conflicted about liking this stupid ass motherfucker. But goddamn, he's so funny.
ended suddenly in 2017 after 5 women accused.
Bro, I swear to God, Shane is just a fucking curse. He's a ball of a curse, dude. He just took down Louis C.K. His fucking atmosphere. I wonder, though, this is a real question, because what he did was terrible, and you absolutely need to be held accountable. I wonder if the proximity to Shane Gillis, because he was under fire, made people like, we gotta fucking dig something up on Louis C.K. Or maybe like somebody feel like they had to come forward. It's like, fuck this guy, I gotta fucking, you know what I mean? He deserved it. I'll just say it.
Him of sexual misconduct. CK discovered, as Gillis has, that he could keep doing stand-up despite the public's disapproval.
This guy's like a millionaire at a certain point.
In 2021, CK won a Grammy. The award suggested that there is a considerable gap between what show business professionals say in public and how they vote in private. Gillis and CK are now close, once collaborating on a marathon podcast in which they attempted to discuss all 45 American presidents.
What the fuck?
It lasted nearly 6.5 hours. Among some of his peers, Gillis is now viewed as an expert on what can and can't be said. Theo Von Theodoro hosts one of the most popular comedy
he's funny. Theo Von's funny.
Podcast on YouTube. And when Gillis paid a visit last year,
even that seems.
All the allegations were before Shane Gillis is fired. Are you sure, dude? I don't know. Shut up. I'm just kidding. Okay, man.
Like a white guy in like a wig, kind of.
Yeah. This, to be honest, this is you are getting borderline. This type of thing is a little dangerous.
It is?
Speculating on black guys' race.
Yeah, it's not good.
Damn, okay.
Look, I'll tell you where the line is.
Okay.
So I think that SNL should hire Hassan to get with the China government. What the fuck are you talking about? Bro, listen, it doesn't matter what I think of Hassan, because we all know he's just not funny. He's not a funny person. So why would you hire him as a comedy podcast? He's not a funny guy, ever. There's nothing that he's ever said that's funny. I've never had a chuckle out of this guy.
Getting close.
Okay, sorry.
One lesson from Gillis's experience might seem simple enough. Don't use racial slurs.
Fuck is that guy?
In one of Gillian Keeve's most recent sketches, it consists of almost nothing but Italian-American stereotypes.
I mean, bro, Italians are racist. It's crazy, dude. There's nothing like them, except for the Irish. So I'm just kidding. These are jokes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it anymore. You can't say fucking anything anymore. I have Italian friends, bro. It's their fucking parents. I swear to God, dude. Grandparents are insane. They're too much. They're wild. They're fucking crazy. Us Germans, though, there's nothing. We've never done nothing. We've never done anything. Anything. We've never done anything crazy before. We're okay. Number one. I'm not gonna say that. We're not number one because that led to some bad stuff. Thinking that, but yeah.
The underlying joke is that, in the current political environment, you can say whatever you want about Italian Americans. Gillis is, in some sense, a purist. He cares more about stand-up than about anything else. That means he would rather be funny than correct. It also means he recognizes that there is more to stand-up than just making people laugh. Gillis's heroes are performers like CK and Chris Rock, who are widely celebrated not just for their punchlines, but for
their slap lines. Sorry.
Their insight. It is probably thanks to these performers that so many people now take comedy seriously. More seriously sometimes than comedians might prefer.
Dude, he's doing a JoJo pose.
Now, take comedy seriously. More seriously.
I've honestly never seen this slap like this before. He's striking a fucking JoJo pose, dude. He's looking hard as fuck right now. I think that you all have to agree with that. It's actually pretty iconic. Looking back at this moment, this is iconic. This is very iconic. So people should respect this more.
Sometimes than comedians might prefer. In a Saturday Night Live sketch from last season, which was cut from the broadcast but posted on YouTube, the cast members seemed to be mocking people like Gillis. John Mulaney, the host, played a man who had just lost his job for having made inappropriate comments.
I feel like it's not going to be like a Shane Gillis hit. I think that there's so many podcasts right now. All over the place. All there is fucking podcasts. Everybody's doing goddamn podcasts, and they're all over TikTok. You see them everywhere. Everybody has the audacity now. I'm one of them. I understand that, but it's actually insane. So I think that's what that reference is.
Introducing the new Fisher-Price podcast set for white guys. Now you can shout every crazy thought in your head without ruining your life. It doesn't record anything at all.
The promise of comedy is that a truly great joke, a truly great performer is undeniable. In the industry, comics pay close attention to who can make a crowd laugh so hard that people are gasping for air, and who can reliably fill venues around the country. Gillis is already known as the first type of comic, and he seems to be in the process of becoming the second.
Yeah, I do a podcast, Robin Dan podcast, guys. Suck it. All right, cool video, man. I'm vibing on that. That was good. I like that. It made me horny. Well, that didn't, but